Good evening, everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your day to be here and to be here this weekend and just join with us tonight. And I want to introduce you to someone that I think a lot of you guys know, but I don't think that you've gotten to hear many of the things that she's going to share with you tonight. This is Lindsey Gremont. A lot of you know her as the homemade mommy, and her life leading up to this point, she's gone through all kinds of really interesting things she can share with us that have led her to where she is today with her blog and with her life with her family and her husband and her amazing and beautiful daughter. And Lindsey leads our team with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of great resources. So she's given us so many resources that we can use, and just her personality, and she's a true light in the world that a lot of us are able to follow and model. And just so thankful that you have brought us all together, and thankful for everything you've given us, and just so excited to be part of your team. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome. Just a little bit about me. I feel like I know a lot of you from being online with you, which is so strange, but it's true. It's true. And just some of my story. 2 years ago, was working as a high school government economics teacher, track coach, new baby, and 2-year-old, and a husband that was about to deploy. I love working with people. I also, in my prior life, loved receiving more income for working with people. I was a financial advisor before I was a teacher. And the way I felt as a teacher is I really felt like it wasn't necessarily my calling. I was just pretty good at it, but I didn't feel like it was fulfilling my purpose. And for me, I really enjoyed being able to, the first day I quit my job, wake up and not have to wake up my baby and my 2-year-old and shove them in their car seats in the cold. And the fact that my husband was deployed when I started doing this, being able to work from home was amazing. And it really taught me that I am okay with people thinking things about me that aren't true. And I'm saying this to you guys, like being a stay-at-home mom, I never wanted that. I'll just be quite honest. And I think you can relate to that, some of you guys. I wanted to work. So I very much had to find my identity through doing this as a business. And once I was okay with that, then the way it felt to receive more and more income from it is pretty amazing. And I love, and I'm so proud to be part of an opportunity where I get to spend time with my kids, but I don't have to spend all my time with them. I am my own person and I have a job, and I love having both of those things work together. And for me, it's been pretty amazing. My husband has served in the military for 23 years, and he is going to retire next year because he wants to, not because I want him to. And that freedom for him is amazing. So I want you all to experience the same freedom. But for me, that's really just my story. This is something that I never knew I wanted, and I never knew I was really praying for, that came into my life just at the right time.
Thank you so much, Ashley. You're an incredible leader, platinum leader with Young Living, and I'm just so excited to be able to teach here with you tonight. We have got about, I don't know, maybe 80 people in this room, 70 people, and this is the first time we've had this many folks all in one room from our team. And you live in Virginia and I'm in Texas, yes. And we don't often get to teach together, so I'm just so excited that we're able to do that tonight. As Ashley introduced me, I am a Royal Crown Diamond with Young Living, and I got to that point in a very interesting way. Prior to getting started, I can remember the day I looked down at my 8-week-old baby and she was smiling, and I was really kind of sad because I knew that in a few weeks I was going to have to go back to work full time. And at the time, I felt like that was kind of okay. I didn't really think about it that deeply. But then my husband came home and said that he was going to have to be leaving his job. And so now the pressure was on me to be the full breadwinner. And we, at that point, were living paycheck to paycheck. We bought our house with the assumption that we were going to be paying the mortgage with 2 incomes. And it was a big shift in our life. And I was pretty exhausted having to work all day and then dealing with a new infant, and it was pretty stressful at that time. I was also dealing with a lot of health issues, and I just got kind of obsessed with my health and recipes and cooking, and I think I was kind of bored at my job too, thinking about a lot of other things. But I had a corporate job with IBM for over 15 years, and that was what I did, and I traveled a lot for work. But I really wanted to find a way to help support my digestion and my health, and so I spent a lot of time up late at night, and I started a blog. Who would start a blog when they have all these stressors going on? I don't know, but I am just so glad that I did, because it led me on this path that I've been on today and put me in touch with a lot of old friends who got me started with where I am today. So today, now, 2 years later, I am making more income in a month than I did in an entire year with my corporate job. It is just amazing. I now, as I supported my husband growing his real estate business, now he's able to be with us all of the time. I didn't like that he was working nights and weekends all of the time and he wasn't with us. I mean, he loved what he did, but he was not with us and our family. And now I work about 10 to 20 hours a week, and he is with us, and we are able to do this business together. And it's just such a huge difference. So if I had not done all the things that I had done and started on this path, I would not be here today. And it's just an amazing chapter in our lives. I appreciate all of you coming here today. It took such a leap of faith to invest in yourself to come and learn. And it's so, so appreciative of your time and of your willingness to learn. That is a huge, huge plus and benefit to all of you, that you are willing to learn. And we always really are learning. So thank you so much. The essential oils market is expected to reach about $12 billion by 2022, up from $5.5 billion in 2014, according to recent market research. Why? There are really two reasons, and I'm sure if you guys agree with these, raise your hands out there. Growing consumer awareness regarding health benefits associated with essential oils and essential oil enhanced supplements. You guys know about those benefits? The growth of the organic product industry has prompted many people to want to ditch toxic chemicals in their home. You guys want to do that? Yes. Have you done that? Yes, many of you have. So that has helped to fuel a really big market. Exorbitant amounts of plant matter are required to create a single ounce of essential oil, yet there is a ton of demand out there. Unfortunately, many essential oil companies have been looking for new avenues for the development of essential oil substitutes created from synthetic compounds, resulting in high demand from undereducated consumers seeking inexpensive products and thinking that what they are getting is a pure essential oil and is natural. Not, something, they think they're getting something from a real plant, not from a lab. Over 2 decades ago, Gary Young started Young Living from very humble beginnings with a remote farm in Idaho with a homemade pressure cooker distiller. Young Living has grown now into a worldwide leader in pure therapeutic grade oils. These are oils made from actual plants, not in a lab. With over $1 billion in annual revenue, guys, there are not many companies that have reached that milestone. We have a global presence with markets and farms all around the world. Young Living is a purpose-driven company bringing greater wellness and abundance to people all over the world, and that is our top priority. Our mission is to bring Young Living essential oils to every home in the world. In 2014, our active members and sales more than doubled. Amazing, huh?
It's pretty amazing to think about every home in the world. And I want to just talk to you about Young Living and why you would want this product, not just in your home and not just in your friends' homes, but everywhere. For me, I know that nature has provided us with absolutely everything we need to survive and thrive while we're on Earth. The plants used for essential oils have been around longer than we have, and as humans, we've been using nature's abundance for thousands and thousands of years in many different ways that are more obvious, eating, using them for shelter. But when we think about essential oils, it's not something we're as familiar with. The distillation process, the way it works, is something that is a lot more complex than merely cutting something down and eating it. And for me, these are truly one of God's gifts to us, that we're able to use them and sustain a lot of our life and sustain our health. So essential oils are highly concentrated aromatic essences of trees, shrubs, herbs, grasses, resins, and flowers. So think about all those different things that we actually get essential oils from in all the parts of the plant. Essential oils are greaseless, unlike our carrier oils, and they're not like those fatty oils, olive or coconut, and that the greaselessness, they also evaporate, so there's several differences with them. Essential oils in the plant are the natural defense and protective mechanism. Think about a plant and what happens to a plant when it's damaged or cut down. A lot of times the essential oil is what goes and actually helps the plant. They're designed to do the exact same job in our bodies as they do in the plant. And that's a pretty amazing thing to think about and how they actually work. So they help preserve our health, and they support many of our body systems and ensure that they work together. On average, each essential oil contains hundreds of molecules that are tiny molecular constituents, so all kinds of different parts, and I want y'all to picture that. Molecules are our tiniest form. I always have a hard time visualizing that. And more discovered each day. So each essential oil, hundreds of molecules, and the key to producing them is to preserve the quality of the molecule, not just the drop, but the molecule itself. And many of these delicate compounds play an important role. And I want you to think about a symphony and how beautiful it sounds when you go buy your ticket and you sit down and you're prepared for everyone to work together and it to be worth your time and worth your money, it's pleasurable. So think about in a symphony, if one thing is off, it throws your whole night off. It throws the whole sound off. So with the molecules, they have to preserve those delicate compounds so that it still works together to have that harmonious final effect. Any impurity or out of tune instrument has that dramatic effect in it. So I want you to keep picturing that as you use one drop and each and every time you use it. Let's be very clear about essential oils. They're not all created equal. Young Living is the oldest and most trusted essential oil company and well respected all over the world. Over 25 years of research and experience, we're the only essential oil company that owns our own farms, and we're the only essential oil company offering the seed to seal guarantee. I personally can advocate, and I do advocate knowing thy farmer and live that philosophy out daily. But what I was just absolutely impressed with is my experience of being part of the farm. Being part of the process of seed to seal and getting to actually touch and feel the plant material, getting to cut it down, which is pretty amazing, load it in the chipper, and being part of the winter harvest last year, the balsam fir harvest, was absolutely incredible to see that step-by-step process. Amazing. And even outside of that, I've visited 4 other farms, and getting to be even just a part of that, where you touch the ylang-ylang flower and smell it and know the oil that comes, from our farm in Ecuador. There is no way to deny that these essential oils are powerful and that they were given to us by God to use when you get to experience that. So from time to time, the seed is sourced until the oil is sealed in the bottle, and then we apply the most rigorous quality standards. We make sure at every point in time they're tested. Our labs are there to preserve and make sure that we have quality assurance in the process. So I encourage you to visit one of the farms. You'll be all inspired, and you'll get to see that process right in front of your eyes and God's design for us. We love for our members to be a part of it, and there's simply no other essential oil company or no other company in general. Think about what you have in your hands, guys. Can you go be part of making your pen or your notepad or your iPhone? I don't think you can. So value that and make sure that you really know the story of Young Living, and it's in your heart.
Awesome. At first I thought these essential oils, and how many of you thought this as well, they were just for making homemade beauty and cleaning products and for things to just kind of smell nice. Anyone else feel that way? Yes, they can certainly do that and a whole lot more. But what I didn't know, and all I know is now, when I first experienced Young Living RC by rubbing it on my chest and how that made me feel and how I was able to breathe so much easier, that was an unbelievable experience. And I don't know about y'all, but when I put a drop of Diette on my tongue after a meal, I find that I can pretty much eat anything. And this is coming from someone who had some pretty serious digestion issues for a long time. So it's pretty amazing. But the more than those, what I love for the oils is the emotional support. I don't know, but all I know is I definitely would put on Valor before coming up and speaking to all of y'all to just be able to feel more confident and more supported. And when I've got to take my daughter to the grocery store and there's a lot of traffic and a lot of craziness going on, I love having my stress away. So the emotional support is something that I would not trade for the whole world, and that is something I did not expect at all from these oils. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's fine. And for me, when I got them, I really intended to use them mostly for baby products. That always sounds so silly when I say it, but making body wash and diaper cream and using stuff for my kids. That was really why I got my kit, and the diffuser was really pretty, and I thought it would make my house smell good, and I knew that candles were bad. And so that was like literally it. And I don't really know, but all I know is that I used Panaway on my back and was amazed at the power of one drop. And I couldn't stop telling people how great it would be to try this. And I had no idea what I would expect with emotions, but all I know is using abundance and then going out and talking to anyone and really putting out there the person that I think that I am. I was attracting back so much of what I wanted in life. When I would go out there and speak life and be positive and apply abundance, I just felt like I was getting it, 10 times back to me.
That's awesome. I'm actually going to be passing around abundance in just a second. So I'm going to pass that around now while we're doing this. But by a raise of hands from all of you, how many of you listen when a friend or family member recommends something to you? By a raise of hands. Yes. Okay. Well, it's, maybe a good movie or a favorite restaurant. You are set to listen to them, or maybe that latest flat screen TV or something like that. But it just turns out that 92% of people are just like you. They trust recommendations from people they know versus standard kind of marketing, direct marketing, or advertising, anything like that. So when something works for you and you trust the brand, then we can easily share it with others. As I mentioned earlier, our mission is to bring our powerful products to every home in the world and to reward our members for sharing Young Living and joining us in building a global community of wellness. So I'm going to pass this around while you start with the visualization. Oh, we should do that first, and then we'll pass this around. Okay.
All right, guys, I want you to put down your phones. Put down any goodies you have in your hand you're trying out.
Put down your babies. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't.
I'm kidding.
She's like, no.
Don't put down the baby.
Don't put down the baby. Put down your pens, anything that's in your hands. Just want everybody to be quiet for a moment and gather yourself, and want you to find a place where you can close your eyes. Put your head down. Put your head in your hands. However you feel comfortable, going to a very personal place. I want you to picture yourself opening an envelope from Young Living and receiving a $1,000 check. What are you going to do with the money? What's the first thing you are doing with that money? And how is it impacting your life? Now you've moved up a rank at Young Living, maybe 2 ranks, and your next check is $3,000, and you realize that you'll be getting a check for $3,000 each and every month. January, February, March. What are you going to do with that money? Are you fixing the car? Retiring your spouse? Are you saving money for college tuition? And how does that make you feel? You've moved up another rank. You go out to the mailbox and you pick up a check for $8,000. And then you realize that you'll be receiving a check for $8,000 each and every month. Then it's $15,000, $30,000, $50,000. Okay. I remember when I did this last year, this exact week last year.
It was.
Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. I mean, I just realized that right now. And there were plenty of tears going around. And so if you feel emotional when you think about it, it's because you're thinking about what you're going to do with that money. So I want you to take your phone back out, take your notepad out, and I want you really to write down a few good highlights from this exercise, and figure out, if there's anything that you want to share.
Does anyone have one they want to share? Stand up. Come on, it's okay. Yes, Stacy.
Actually, this has changed from when I first started. We definitely have to pay off debt. And then I'd always thought that I wanted to start some scholarships, but then I realized that we have a nephew, my husband's twin brother. His son has a fatal disease, and he's already lived longer than we had expected. He's kind of like a miracle on these trial drugs. And then I realized that if we can continue supporting the Neiman Pick Foundation with lots and lots and lots of money, then maybe they will find
That's great.
a cure for it.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So that is where money
You're going.
needs to go.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Somebody hit me last week.
Thank you.
I love this.
Anyone else?
I was just going to say that
That's really good.
my story is kind of a lot like, theirs up there. And about 8 years ago, I started working as a nurse. And I had a small little baby. And
Christina, come up here. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think,
that's
is that
yes. Just so we can make sure you're on the mic.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm Christina Tapp.
Say it louder.
So about 8 years ago, I started working as a nurse in labor and delivery, and I had a little baby 3 years ago, and I was 27 years old, had a small little baby, and I was working 12-hour shifts 3 days a week, and I was tired. It's the physical and emotional toll that it takes on you is a lot, working that many hours. I'm sure a lot of you guys know if you have a job like that. And so I wanted something different. I wanted something that I could help me get healthy. I wanted to be able to stay home. I wanted another baby, and I was been able to do that. I've actually been able to replace my income and almost double it. So if I can help anybody here do that, that's just, it would be an amazing thing to help everybody achieve things like that. So.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I know. Isn't it fun?
Okay. So let's talk through what some of this income would look like. So how many stars do we have in the room? If you're a star, please stand up. You're a star with Young Living.
Be proud.
Woo-woo!
Yes. Well,
Nice.
it's awesome.
Hitting star is the first step in Young Living to building a business. And the average star can earn anywhere around $73 a month. So that's going to help you to start getting your oils, your monthly oils paid for. Because I don't know about you, but I order my oils every month, and so do 92% of Young Living members. So we like our oils, we like our products, and so that's going to really help get it paid for. How many in the room, if you're a senior star, please stand up. Woo! Awesome. So the average senior star is making about $261 per month. And I am pulling this from the 2013 income disclosure, just so y'all know, so you can go and check that out online. Congratulations, senior stars. All right, next up is our first kind of real leadership rank, executive. Who do you have that are executives in the room? Please stand up. Awesome, guys.
That's a lot.
Yes. Awesome. Congratulations. Executive is really the first rank where you are starting to be serious as a leader with Young Living. You have started with a couple of people on your team who are now sprouting and doing some things as well. So congratulations for that. The average executive is earning about $617 per month. All right, silver is in the room. Please stand up if you're a silver. Woo! Woo! Ow! Ow! Ow!
I know. Really? Y'all should be excited.
I know. So exciting. Silver is an amazing rank to hit. One of the biggest leadership rank that you can hit. You start to be able to do a lot of things with Young Living that way. You've got two legs that have two team pieces that have really started to grow, and you are now not only growing your business in the way, starting and enrolling new members, but you are also helping your team to grow at this point. And the average silver makes about $2,300 a month. So really, really exciting. Across all members globally, that is how much they're making on average. Any golds in the room? Yeah. Awesome. Woo-hoo! Congratulations, Gold. Golds on average are making about $6,500 a month. So, you know, what would that be doing for your family at this point? As we were talking about in the visualization, what would you be doing with that money? How would that be helping you? On average, that's what a gold earns. That's pretty exciting. Platinums, we have one up here.
Jeez. A lot.
Awesome. Congratulations, Platinums. Platinums are earning almost $16,000 per month, guys. Big jump. Isn't that exciting? Pretty amazing. On average, almost $16,000 a month.
Pretty good.
Pretty damn good. That's your six-figure income right there, guys, and more.
Yeah, you have to earn like $8,400 a month as a six-figure income.
So between gold and that's like a strong gold, you know, new platinum. That's so exciting. All right, any diamonds in the room?
I think so.
Yes. Woo-hoo! Okay, we have to. Stephanie, come up here.
She's like.
We have one of our new diamonds in the room, Stephanie Moram, and I just want to call her up. So the average diamond is earning about $32,000 per month, guys. So this is a huge thing. And Stephanie hit diamond a few months ago, and I just have to honor her with, I'm going to pin her right now.
Oh, I think, here, let me,
Yeah, you can give her the mic. And she can introduce herself, if I can get this out of here. Bet you weren't expecting this, huh?
No.
So here is your diamond gift for you and JP. You hit diamond. There you go. And there's your pin. Thank you. You want to put on the necklace? No. No, you should put it on. You hold it. Woohoo! You can put it in the bag. Thank you so much, Steph. You want to tell your story? I'll get it. I'll get it.
Thank you. Do you want me to tell the one I prepared, or?
Awesome.
Okay, so I prepared a little something so I don't fumble on my words. So imagine you're your own boss. You're setting all your own hours. You get to decide who you work with each and every day. You get to create that well-balanced life that you've always wanted. Most people only dream of that, but rarely ever get the chance to achieve it. I come from a social work background. I was going through the motions of the 40-40-40 club. I never thought that that would be my reality. My name is Stephanie. I am the brains and beauty behind goodgirlgonegreen.com. I'm an entrepreneur from Montreal, Canada. Woo! So I'm pregnant. So I'm pregnant with my firstborn child. I only have times on my hand. I'm on a sabbatical from work. So I decide that I'm going to start researching stuff. So I'm researching and I'm researching all the baby products that I'm going to buy for my child. I don't like what I read. I don't like what I see. So this brings me down a rabbit hole that I just cannot get out of. So this is where my passion for the environment, green living, non-toxic living, and eating a real food diet had all started. I started my blog 4 years ago, and I started to document everything and share with others what I was learning. Little did I know that my blog that I started 4 years ago would change the course of my life. So it's now time for me to go back to work. I don't want to go back to work. I'm anxious. I don't like the idea of this at all. So I'm desperately looking for a way that I can stay home. So though my blog was bringing in some financial reward, it wasn't enough for me to actually stay home with my kids. I loved my job. I did love the people, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't truly happy with what I was doing. I wanted to change the world, and I still do. But how was I going to be able to do this with the financial stresses that we were going through? So while I'm scrambling, I'm introduced to our company. I went from knowing nothing at all about what we're all doing to becoming a six-figure earner in less than 2 years, working my way to seven-figure earner, and becoming a top leader in the company. So instead of living paycheck to paycheck, we're now able to set money aside, we're able to donate to charities, and we're able to have time and financial freedom now. I work anywhere from about 20 to 30 hours a week. We're able to pick up the kids early from daycare. We're able to stay home with them when they're sick and not have to worry about this pile of work that's going to be waiting for us. And we're able to just stay home with the kids because we want to go skiing one day and we don't have to worry about anything. So 1 year after being with our company, my husband decides to join me on this awesome journey. He saw the opportunity. He saw the possibilities for our future. So he's been home with us for now 1 year, rocking the business with me. Sorry. So not many people can say that, which is pretty awesome.
It is awesome.
So not all of this would happen. Not only this has happened, but now I can be that world changer that I wanted to be. My payout from my company allows me the freedom to push the cosmetic and personal care industry to make changes. I can advocate for a cleaner and greener planet, and I can leave the planet knowing that I did everything I could. We work hard, we work very hard. I'm not gonna say it's an easy road, but what I can tell you is that it's all worth it in the end. I'm gonna leave you with this. Eric Worre says it the best, because it is a stone cold fact that we do have a better way. Now let's go tell the world.
Yay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And your gift is in here too. You can just take that. Thank you so much, Stephanie. An unbelievable story. I do, because I need you to unlock this again. Awesome. So the average, congratulations, Stephanie, on hitting diamond. Do we have any crown diamonds in the room? Nope. We have someone that's close over there. Crown diamond with Young Living is earning on average about $57,000 a month. Who thinks that would be pretty awesome?
I do.
And Royal Crown Diamond, that's me, standing right here. You have to say it because I just can't say it.
You just can't?
No.
Stupid money. I can't even. I'm just kidding. Okay, $106,000 a month.
Yeah, it's awesome. We get to.
I didn't know what to say after that.
What do you say after that?
No, but can I say this? Do you think you're worth earning that a month?
Yeah?
No, I mean, actually, do you think, everyone in this room, do you think you're worth earning $106,000 a month?
I can't hear you.
I mean, you gotta speak into it, right? If you think that you're worthy of it.
Well, that's what we're all here for this weekend, right? So, for those watching the replay video, we are all here to get some training, right? Training is very, very important. One of the qualities that I look for in leaders that I am growing, and anyone who is looking to do this full-time or part-time or anytime, is a desire to learn and to be teachable, and that is why we are all here. So let's just say for a moment that there is an expert who can help you. Would that be helpful? Yes? Okay. How many of you have ever had a job where you weren't taught how to do it? How did that feel? You were like scrambling and trying to figure things out and fumbling around until you figured it out, right? It doesn't feel very good. That's not what happens here. It doesn't matter how you got started. You can go directly to the source, this trainer, and plug right in to learn straight from the expert yourself. Our training is at smarternetworker.com, where you can gauge some nuggets right away to help you start this home business successfully. I'd love to call up some other leaders to tell us about their story and their experience with the training. So first up, Jennifer, will you come up? Let's give Jennifer a hand. Thank you, Jennifer. Sorry, there's a hair in there. Hi, welcome up here. How are you? Jennifer is a platinum leader with Young Living and one of my dear friends, and she is just the sweetest person, and I hope that you can hear her. She's going to have to speak loudly.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Well, that doesn't work for that. It's only for the video.
Can you guys hear me? Is this thing on?
No, you just have to talk loudly.
Okay, I will. I can do it. Okay. So prior to getting started with all this, when my kids were little, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I loved it. It is what I always wanted to do, and I just loved every moment home with them. As they got a little bit older, my husband and I realized that I needed to go back to work to help, pay the bills and everything, and I didn't want to go back to work full-time. And I'm a teacher, so I went back to work part-time, and I taught. but that just still wasn't enough. But I didn't want to go back to work full time. I wanted to be able to be in my kids' classrooms. I wanted to pick them up from school. I wanted to still be with them all the time. So fast forward until today, and I am no longer teaching part-time. I've been able to replace my income, my teaching salary income, and I am homeschooling my girls, which is something I always wanted to do, and I didn't think it was going to be possible because I was going to go back to work full-time. And so this is just a dream of mine that's already come true. My husband and I are working on paying off, all debt. Our relationship is better because we're not so, stressed about money. But beyond all that, I have found a fire and a drive and strength inside of me that I did not know even existed. I feel like I'm a better person now than I've ever been, and I'm just so thankful for all of this. So if you guys want to make a change, it's never too late. You can get started today.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Good, Jennifer. Okay, next up I want to call up Kara Kozier. Give her a hand. Woo! There you go.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hi. Hey, everybody. So you've probably heard that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and if you look around right now, you're with about 70 awesome people.
Woo!
So really great. So I'm really excited about being here. I love talking to everybody and meeting everybody again. My journey in the income earning world started when I was an officer in the Navy for 6 years, and I really remember sitting there on our lunch breaks with a couple other officers out in the park and eating our lunch and talking about how much we wanted to be entrepreneurs. And we were going to get out and we were going to do something amazing, like open a franchise. So we were thinking, seriously, you probably heard of Moe's. And there was another one, like Nothing But Noodles. I don't know why, but that's what we were thinking. We're like, yeah, we'll open a franchise. And we were reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad and getting all excited about being entrepreneurs. And then I got out of the Navy and got kind of sucked into that normal job thing because, that's just what you do. You go and you get a job. So, but I wanted a little bit of freedom, so I still had that kind of freedom mindset. So I got a job as a project manager with a home builder, because that makes total sense, right? I should be building residential houses. So that's but I was like, I'll be in a construction trailer. I'll be working with a bunch of guys, which I liked because I came from the military. So there I was, and I was like, I can be outside and do whatever I want. And so I had a great time being a project manager because of the freedom, somewhat of the freedom aspect to it. So then I got real excited. I got all these qualifications, and I'm like, I'm going to be able to earn more money because I am now a licensed general contractor. I'm a real estate agent. I'm like everything I can be in my job. I'm like, I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to make more money. Yeah, not so much, right? That's not how it works. So I started to learn the cold, hard truth that just because you work really hard, you get all these qualifications, you're good at your job, you're passionate, you're not necessarily going to get promoted and make more money. So that was a little bit of a struggle. I ended up pregnant with twins, and ta-da, and then on bed rest for 10 weeks. So then my babies, much like you talked about, were about 6 weeks old, and I'm looking at them, and they were premature and stuff, so they were real little. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, okay, in 2 weeks, I'm gonna need to put you in daycare. And then I was kind of freaked out about that, and I'm still like, pumping and all that other good stuff. So I'm picturing doing that in the construction trailer. I'm like, no. So then I look up daycare. How much does daycare cost? How much does daycare for twins cost? Almost more than I was earning as a project manager. I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm gonna go to work just so that I can pay for daycare. That makes no sense. So I stayed home. And just much like you said, we bought a house needing 2 incomes to pay for it. So we went a while on 1 income, and it was not a good thing. Mm-hmm. So fast forward, we sold that house, and we made a decision to change, much like Danny Johnson talks with War on Debt, to make a really drastic change and take a financial hit in our lives to improve it. And so we got rid of that burden of the home, and that's when I started writing on my website and heading toward that chemical-free lifestyle, living a healthier lifestyle, because I looked at those 2 little babies, and they're so perfect and innocent and pure, and I didn't want to put any chemicals into their body. I wanted to feed them good foods, and that's kind of that slippery slope that leads you to Young Living. So, so there I am, talking about essential oils and then looking at, the business aspect to it and the freedom and how it, for that small investment of that starter kit, you now have a business. And, and before I back up from that, before I even started that, I actually started a general contracting business right before I started Young Living. And what you learn from doing, and I did that for about 4 years, and what I learned from that is that you spend thousands and thousands of dollars to start a business when really, like with Young Living, you just start with such a small investment. And then the beauty, and like she just demonstrated with the income, the harder or the smarter, but the harder you work and the more skills you have and the more you keep at it, you have that opportunity for your income to grow and grow and grow. And the only ceiling that's put there is the one that you put there for yourself. Whatever your self-limiting, belief or whatever your limiting factor is what caps your growth. So it's all on us and what we do and the skills and the investment we do in ourselves, so that we can grow and earn wherever, the sky's the limit.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Give Kara a hand. Okay, I'd like to call up just a couple more. So Kirsten, are you out there? Hi, this is Kirsten McCormick. Thank you. Guys, give her a hand.
So my name is Kirsten. I've been with Young Living since April of 2014. Before I started, the year before I started, a year before that, I was teaching music in public schools as a private voice teacher and choir director. And I really loved that job, but when I got pregnant with my 4th child, I decided that daycare was going to cost more than I was making. And I'm very passionate about music and I love doing that, but I also really love being with my kids. And so that was a big decision at that year for me to decide, okay, I'm gonna homeschool my kids. If I'm gonna be teaching anyway, I'm gonna stay home with my kids and stay home with my baby and not have to put them in daycare. And so that next year was really wonderful for me. I felt like suddenly wow, I am really living the dream. Yes, money was tight, but my husband was gracious and generous and we made it on his income and that was okay. But what I was watching happen is I was watching him work like 50, 60 hours a week, commute 2 hours every day and come home like a zombie. And it was just really hard for me to be like, I'm so happy, I'm with my children, I get to make home-cooked meals now. And I had this very low-stress life, but my husband was very stressed out, and I was watching our marriage get more and more tense because of his stress level. And so I started to have a very strong desire to find a way to get additional income. I started a blog, which is how I met Lindsey. I'm not a big-time successful blogger. My blog is very tiny, but it did help me network with a lot of wonderful people. And so when I found a team of people that they were doing Young Living, and I joined that, and I realized very quickly that I had a strength at this. I'm a people person. I love building relationships. I love helping people. And so I started working hard and fast. And now where I am now is I've surpassed my husband's income at his corporate job, and he's actually going to quit his job this summer. Woo! And we are going to take our family on the road and travel, and we're going to visit. Friends and family all over the U.S. and all of the wonderful historic places that young homeschooling kids should see firsthand, so that they get excited about it. And so that's what we're going to do. Awesome. Our life is much different now, and now both of us have this dream, and we're both really happy and balanced, rather than it just being like me and then my hardworking husband supporting us. So
awesome. Thank you so much. Let's give Kirsten a hand. Inspiring story. Okay, I think we actually have 2 more. Okay, Sherry, come on up. Sherry Griffin is coming up now. Hi, Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming up here.
Thank you for having me.
So, my name is Sherry Griffin, and I am a health and wellness advocate and writer over at overthrowmartha.com. And my journey started when I, again, like everybody else, wanted to reduce chemicals in my life. If we back up, 2 years ago, I was stuck in a job I didn't like, working too many hours, and I was stressed. So stressed that I wasn't taking proper care of myself or my family. And if that wasn't a big enough wake-up call, I got hit with a massive health problem. And that was a big sign for me that it was time to clean up my life and clean up my health. And so I started reducing chemicals, and I saw what that does and how powerful it is, which is why I started my blog. And I ended up joining Young Living, and it has been a life-changing experience. Within 2 years, I have made up my nursing salary that I was making in the hospital. I make more than what I did when I was a nurse. And I am now debt-free, which is an amazing feeling. I was able to take a dream vacation and pay for it in cash, which is another amazing feeling. And it was plugging into the training with Smarter Networker has been a complete game changer. I was working 40 plus hours a week, and then I've cut it down to 20, and I haven't lost momentum, and I'm making my income, and I'm doing what I need to do, and it's just been, so I have to thank you for introducing me to that, because it's been amazing. And I want to tell everybody that if you're thinking about starting a business, a network marketing business, or with Young Living, try it, because you never know what's possible until you do it and you put your heart in it.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you. Now we've got Amber Howells, our last speaker up. Thank you. Give Amber a hand. You thought you were going to get out of this.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd forget about me. You did. You saw the look I was giving her. Hey everyone, I'm Amber Howell. So mine is short and sweet, so we're going to end with a bang here. All right, so prior to getting started, I was a working mother and wife who was really tired of working holidays. I worked in healthcare, and for anyone who works in healthcare or really any job that requires you to work weekends or holidays, it's really hard. And so I knew that I wanted to find something else that I could still work, because I'm kind of like Ashley talked about, like being a stay-at-home mom was not my dream. But I still felt like I had a purpose, and I wanted to feel like I belonged to something and help people. So today I have that. I have the flexibility. I work 10 to 15 hours a week, sometimes 20 at the max, thanks to Time Secrets. But I have that, and I have that flexibility, and I can make my own schedule, at the hospital when I do choose to work there. So it's been pretty amazing. So yeah, thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Amber. Let's give Amber a hand. So I just want to quickly share my story with the training. So at first, when I first started my business with Young Living, I was doing it the way I thought, it should be done, and I was sharing a lot of materials, and I was reading a lot and doing a lot of my own personal development. But when I plugged into the training with Danny Johnson at smarternetworker.com this past summer, I can't even describe to you the transformation. I was used to working a corporate job, and so I was in that mindset that you had to work really hard and long hours in order to be successful. How many of you feel like that here? That you have to work so many hours. What you learn with the great training that we offer through this third party is that that's not the case. It's all about working smarter, not harder. And I was able to cut my hours from about, I'm embarrassed to say, but from about 80 to 100 a week to 20, and sometimes even lower than that. And it's because of focus. We lack so much focus in this world today, and this taught me how to focus. I thought I was pretty good at focusing before, and I thought there were so many things that I needed to do before, but it really helped me to organize myself, and it can help anyone organize themselves, because I'm not an organized person by any stretch of the imagination. No. And it has just helped so much. It's changed my life. I've been able to be with my family more. I said that I wanted to be, but yet that my actions were not modeling that dream. because I thought I had to work so hard to keep things going. And when you're working and striving in your own strength, then you are not going to be able to keep that up. You are not strong enough to do it. And you have to learn how to raise up other leaders with you. And the only way to do that is to set your ego aside and trust in God in the process and let it happen. And that is exactly what's happened. Since I plugged into this training, my income has grown over 30%, and I hit the next highest rank with our company. So I attribute all of that to God first, obviously, but being able to hear, to have an ear to hear about this training, because it is so important. So there are 3 types of people, Ashley, right?
Yes.
Those that are, I'm just going to casually share right now. Is anyone here just kind of a casual share? Raise your hands, it's okay. You're type 1, okay? So that is a type 1. So if you're out there watching, think about that. If you can say you're a type 1, that's totally fine. Type 2 is, okay, I'm ready to share, and I'm pretty serious, but I'm not quite ready to travel to a 2-day seminar. I'd really like to see what kind of training is offered that I can check out at home. Anyone? I mean, you guys all traveled here, so none of you are going to raise your hand, but people out there might be type 2s. And then there are some that totally see the opportunity with eyes wide open and want to maybe knock 6 months off of their learning curve. Was that all of you guys? Yes. Maybe you were doing this for a little while, getting a little frustrated, maybe hitting a wall and realizing, oh my gosh, I hit this wall, and it's a wall that I'm putting there, not anybody else, and I need to go do something about it, right? Mm-hmm. That is a type 3. So if you are a type 3, then what you're gonna need to do is head to a 2 or 3 day seminar, and we're all here at this one right now, First Steps to Success. We're here in Orlando. This is January of 2016. They're held every 8 weeks, and you can check out when the next one is at homademommy.net/FSTS, so First Steps to Success, and you can get your ticket there for the next one. So with that, think about where you are with that type, those watching on the video, and I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and if you need to, go to smarternetworker.com/OA start here, and that's where you'll get all the great information on how to get started. If you were a type 1, then you're going to want to type in smarternetworker.com/OA bootcamp. And if you were a type 2, you're going to want to type in homademommy.net/home-success-bundle. And then again, if you're a type 3, you want to check out First Steps to Success, homademommy.net/FSTS. And then I also want to show you this other tool that we have now. This is a new tool that we have now for anyone at Young Living, and it is a Young Living specific script book, and that's what we use tonight, that has this script in it as well as many others to help you with your business. How to invite someone to a class, how to talk with someone.
And how awesome is this that Lindsey put this together for all of us? I mean, all in one place.
All in one place.
With your company, which I think is the biggest hurdle, right, guys? You have something you can use easily. So thank you so much for allowing us to have access.
You can pre-order this or order it at theoilyangels.com/script-book. Script-book. Thank you so much for joining tonight, and we will see you soon. Bye.